I'm Michael Christensen with Drew University, Communities of Shalom. Before I came to Drew, I was a pastor, and that's where I got in contact with AIDS for the first time. It was in the early 1980s, mid-1980s, and AIDS was a new thing for our church to deal with. And I remember that AIDS was an issue out there that people didn't think came to church. AIDS was something that happened in the gay community or in Haitians who had IV treatment. AIDS was not the issue that we had to face as a church until this little kid who was 6 years old, whose name was Joey, came to church with his parents. And Joey had AIDS. And when Joey had AIDS, when you have a 6-year-old kid in Sunday school with HIV/AIDS, suddenly this is a big issue in our church. I mean, there were mothers, parents, not bringing their children to church when they heard that Joey would be in Sunday school. So we had to deal with this as a pastor and as a congregation. And I remember it took about a year of raising our awareness, of studying the issues, and looking at stigma, and looking at Scripture and how Jesus dealt with lepers and people who were marginalized and stigmatized in Jesus' time. And after a year of raising our consciousness, looking at issues, having small groups, people expressing themselves, the way it turned around was, it was an amazing thing. It's like a year later, people were saying to me, I'm not going to bring Johnny to church this Sunday because Johnny has a cold, and I don't want Joey to get sick. And what a reversal. I mean, just a year before, they would be keeping their own children away from Joey, thinking they could catch AIDS through the air. And a year later, they're saying, I don't want my child to give Joey a cold. I know his immune system is compromised, and we just don't want to do that for him. So it was an amazing turnaround that happened in 1986.